Hey, it's Michelle. So I have a sister who was adopted from South Korea, and when I was looking at the adoption records, and paperwork, my mom kept like everything. So they had a thing that was kind of like, "Why do you want to adopt?" And they were talking about how they wanted another South Korean daughter so that my older sister wouldn't feel alone. And that was really touching to me because, well, yes, obviously I'm not South Korean. Just the fact that my parents were thoughtful enough to kind of recognize that it's weird. I don't know if that's maybe where they were coming from, but to at least on some level acknowledge that's weird being in such like a white Caucasian town and being one of the few, if not the only person of your race there, and how ostracizing that could be. Just the concept that they were like, well, we want to have a second child. Hopefully, we can get another South Korean child so that, Rachel has someone that shares an origin and a culture and, doesn't feel alone because they would be able to look around and see someone that kind of looks like them. Because it's very weird when there really isn't anyone who looks like you. Um, and if you like, there's just not a lot of represent. Definitely not when my sister and I were growing up. There definitely wasn't a lot of representation. Um, so that was just something that I thought was really sweet, and that might be kind of weird because it's like, well, they kind of were saying they didn't want you, but it's not so much they were saying they didn't want me. It was so much that they were saying that they know that it's important to have some sort of representation, and that if there was the option to have, another child that was from South Korea, that way my older sister wouldn't be alone and they can kind of go through the obnoxious things together and kind of have that sense of community. And I thought that was really touching, and I wanted to share that because, I mean, obviously they weren't able to get a South Korean child, a second South Korean child. They got me from Chile, but just the fact that that was something that they thought about, because that is not a decision that would positively or negatively affect them per se. It's a choice that they made thinking specifically of my sister and her well-being, and hoping she didn't feel so alone. And I thought that was really touching, and I think it just kind of, I mean, it's it's very meaningful to have people who you can look at and go, "Hey, they look like me." That's kind of cool. And I know that might sound weird to a lot of people, but a lot of people, are raised with people who look similar to them. There are a lot of people who are raised with their biological family, so it's going to seem weird hearing someone go, "Wow, they, people who look like me." They're probably like, "What? What is up with that?" But that's because your norm is people look like you, whether it's your family or your community. So you take it for granted. I didn't have that. So I didn't really have anyone to go, "Hey, that person looks like me," because it's just something that so many people take for granted. And they don't understand how powerful it is to see someone who looks like you. Because growing up is very lonely. Um, hopefully, you're the only person inside your own head, experiencing your own specific worldview and all of that stuff. Everyone has slightly different perceptions of what's going on. So, different ways to find community can really help build that resilience. And um, anyway, I just wanted to share that because I know a lot of people don't seem to get it, but not feeling alone feeling like you belong, it's a lot of these little tiny pieces. Um, people who look like you, who have similar issues with their hair like you, people who are vertically challenged like you. It's not like you get a welcome card being like, "Hey, welcome. You now have community." It's all these tiny little tiny things, that is what builds a feeling of belonging and community. If you've ever walked in a room and you've just felt a bunch of eyes like go on you and you're like, okay, I don't know what I did, I'm gonna leave now, and it's like all they did was look. But again, it's all these little things that adds up to either help you feel super ostracized or can help you feel like you're part of a community. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. See ya.